Do you think young people are more health conscious than older generations? Why or why not?
I don't think so, because older generations have more serious physical conditions compared to younger generations. So always, they might check their health condition again and again. Compared to that, younger generations don't need to check their health condition because they are healthy compared to them. So the older generation has a more healthy health condition mind, and the younger generation merely concentrates on study or physical activity. So they do not have enough time to worry about their health.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where we take raw information. Could be research, notes, maybe even like today, a real-life learning scenario, and we really distill it. We find those aha moments, the surprising bits, and the actionable stuff that helps you get truly informed.
Exactly.
And today, we're diving into something I think is really fascinating. The art and science, maybe, of mastering English.
It really is both, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you've ever felt a bit stuck, trying to get your ideas out clearly in English, or maybe you're prepping for something specific, something like the IELTS exam.
A big one for many learners.
Right. Then this deep dive is absolutely for you. We're going to pull back the curtain a bit on some really common language hurdles.
The thing that often trip people up.
Exactly. Why they happen, and crucially, how you can get past them. We want to give you the tools, the strategies to, well, leap over them with confidence.
Like getting a shortcut, yeah.
Kind of. A shortcut to not just speaking English, but really like owning your words.
That's a great way to put it. And our mission today, it's very focused. We're taking a real-world example.
Okay.
A beginner English speaker's answer to, well, a pretty typical exam question.
Right.
And we're going to put it side by side with feedback from an expert teacher. Line by line.
Detailed.
Very. But the goal isn't just pointing fingers saying, that's wrong. It's about understanding why. The principles behind effective communication.
So people can apply it themselves.
Precisely. We want you to walk away with a clear roadmap. Actionable steps to cut down on mistakes, build stronger sentences. Basically, just elevate your English communication.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the specific question we're tackling?
It's a good one, typical IELTS Part 3 style, designed to make you think, compare.
Get those opinions flowing.
Exactly. It is. Do you think young people are more health conscious than older generations? Why or why not?
Okay. That definitely invites comparison. Lots to unpack there.
For sure. So let's jump in.
All right. So our starting point is the learner's original answer. And, the first thing to say, which is really positive, is that they do get their main idea across. You understand the argument, right? And that's always step one, a huge step.
Absolutely. Clarity is key.
So here's exactly what they said, word for word from our source. I don't think so, because older generations have more serious physical conditions compared to younger generations.
Okay.
So always, they might check their health condition again and again. Compared to that, younger generations don't need to check their health condition because they are healthy compared to them.
Right. I hear the repetition starting there.
Yeah. So the older generation has a more healthy, health-conscious mind, and the younger generation really concentrates on study or physical activity. So they do not have enough time to worry about their health.
Got it. And, you're right. The core message, it's there.
Yeah.
You understand their opinion, the basic logic. And that's commendable, especially for a beginner. That foundation is solid.
But there's always a but in these deep dives, isn't there?
Well, yes. But it's a constructive but. As we dig in, we'll see how just small tweaks, small adjustments can take this understandable answer and make it really quite sophisticated, fluent, something that would score highly.
It's about the polish.
Exactly. Polishing the delivery, choosing maybe more precise words, tightening up the grammar, all that stuff makes a huge difference, whether it's an exam or just, chatting with someone.
Okay, let's unpack it then. Let's use the teacher's insights. Because the feedback here, it's not just correction, is it? It feels more like a master class.
It really is. It pinpoints those subtle rough spots and shows exactly how to smooth them out, making the language feel more natural, more impactful.
Right. So issue number 1, the teacher flagged. Let's start there. It was the phrase, more serious physical conditions. The teacher noted it sounds a bit awkward, maybe a bit dramatic.
Yeah, awkward is a good word. It conveys the meaning, sure, but it's maybe not the most natural phrasing a native speaker would jump to.
Why is that exactly? What makes it awkward?
Well, more serious physical conditions can sometimes sound quite clinical, almost like you're talking about very severe illnesses.
Ah, okay. A bit too intense, maybe?
Potentially. It lacks that sort of everyday flow. The teacher's suggestions, things like more health issues or more medical concerns,
Right.
they're just much more versatile, more
Yeah.
common. They cover everything from minor aches to bigger problems that can come with age without sounding overly alarming.
So it's about the register, the level of formality.
Exactly. Choosing the right register, the common usage, that's a huge step towards sounding more native-like. It helps you convey not just the idea, but the feel of the idea, the nuance.
That's fascinating. Okay, nuance matters. Got it. Moving on, the next bit the teacher looked at was, so always, they might check their health condition again and again.
I remember hearing that.
The feedback spotted redundancy there, right? And maybe some vagueness, always and again kind of feel repetitive.
They do. They're saying the same thing. It's a really common thing learners do, trying to add emphasis by repeating.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
We all do. But often, a single, stronger word or phrase works much better. It's about being efficient, impactful. Every word should count, you know.
Makes sense. So what was the suggested fix?
The teachers suggested they tend to monitor their health regularly.
Ooh, okay. That sounds much smoother.
Doesn't it? Tend to nicely implies it's a habit, not necessarily always, but often.
Right.
Monitor is just a more sophisticated verb than check again and again, more precise.
Yeah, monitor sounds more deliberate.
And regularly neatly wraps up both always and again into one concise adverb.
So it's the same meaning, basically, but tighter, more elegance.
Exactly. Fewer words, but more powerful words. It has fluency, sophistication. It's like upgrading your language toolkit.
Okay, I like that. Upgrade complete. Next issue. The teacher mentioned the repetition of compared to.
Ah, yes. It popped up a few times, quite close together in the original.
Compared to younger generations. Compared to that, yeah.
And while compared to is perfectly fine grammatically,
It gets a bit much.
it really can, yeah. Especially back-to-back like that. It can make the answer sound a bit clunky, maybe even robotic, less fluent.
So what's the alternative? How do you vary it?
Well, English has lots of ways to show contrast. Once you've used compared to, maybe think about using unlike or whereas.
Ah,
Or, on the other hand, sometimes you don't even need a specific word. You can just structure the sentences to imply the comparison.
right. Let the structure do the work.
Exactly. Showing you can use different ways to compare things demonstrates a wider vocabulary, a better command of sentence structure. It makes your argument feel more dynamic.
It's about showing off your range, isn't it? Not just sticking to one phrase.
Precisely. Variety is key for sounding natural and scoring well.
Got it. Okay, issue number 4. This one's a bit more grammatical. The older generation has a more healthy, health-conscious mind.
There's a little awkwardness there.
Yeah. What's the problem specifically? More healthy, health-conscious.
Well, the adjective health-conscious already contains the idea of being aware of health, trying to be healthy.
Ah, so adding healthy in front is
Redundant.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And grammatically, it doesn't quite fit together smoothly in that structure. The cleaner, correct phrase is simply more health-conscious.
Just more health-conscious.
Simpler.
Much simpler and more precise. It highlights how choosing the right adjective, the one that already captures the meaning, makes your English instantly clearer and more native-like.
Right. Avoid piling on extra words if one good one does the job.
Exactly. Sometimes less is more.
Okay. And the final issue the teacher flagged, it was in the sentence. The younger generation really concentrates on study or physical activity. 2 things here.
Yeah, 2 points. First, a classic grammar one, subject-verb agreement.
Ah, generation concentrates.
Right. Generation here, although singular, is acting like a collective noun, referring to many young people. So in English, we typically use the plural verb form. It should be younger generation, concentrate.
Concentrate, okay. That's a common slip-up, I imagine.
Very common, especially transferring from other languages where collective nouns might work differently. Nailing subject-verb agreement is fundamental for accuracy.
And the second point was about the logic. Something about physical activity.
Yeah, the original phrasing concentrates on study or physical activity, so they do not have enough time to worry about their health. It almost implies that physical activity is somehow opposed to being health conscious.
Which isn't really the intended meaning, is it? Physical activity is usually seen as healthy.
Exactly. So the suggested rephrasing clarifies this, something like, are more focused on their studies or staying active.
Okay, staying active sounds better than just physical activity there.
It does. And then adding, but may not think much about long-term health. That clarifies the point. They're busy with immediate things, including being active, but maybe not focused on future health risks in the same way older people might be.
Ah, I see. It separates being active now from consciously thinking about long-term health strategy.
Precisely. It ensures the idea is expressed accurately without any confusing or unintended implications.
Wow, okay, that's a lot of detailed feedback from just a few sentences.
But incredibly valuable feedback.
Definitely. So this brings us to the exciting part, the after picture.
The transformation.
Exactly. After applying all these insights, these corrections, what does a really strong, high-scoring answer actually sound like? The teacher gave a band 7+ sample.
Let's hear it.
Okay, here it is. I don't really think so. In my opinion, older generations tend to be more health conscious because they're more likely to experience health problems as they age.
Straight away you hear tend to be, experience health problems.
Yeah.
Good vocab.
Yeah. Then, as a result, they often go for checkups and pay closer attention to their diet and lifestyle.
Nice linking word. As a result. And phrases like, go for checkups, pay closer attention. Natural.
Then the contrast. Younger people, on the other hand, are usually healthier and may not think seriously about their health unless they face a specific issue.
On the other hand, good connector. Think seriously about. Clear phrasing.
And finally, they're often more focused on school, work, or social life, so health may not be a top priority for them.
Top priority. Great vocabulary choice there.
It sounds so much smoother, doesn't it? More coherent.
It really does. It's a fantastic example. You can clearly hear the upgraded vocabulary seamlessly woven in tend to, experience health problems, pay closer attention, top priority.
They're not just fancy words, they fit perfectly.
Exactly. And notice the sentence structure isn't repetitive, it flows. And those linking words, as a result, on the other hand, even the final so feels earned and natural there.
Yeah, it's not like the 3 so's we heard earlier.
Right. These words act like signposts, guiding the listener smoothly through the argument. It makes the whole thing logical, cohesive, and really effective. It's gone from just understandable to genuinely articulate.
It really feels like a blueprint for how you can structure your own thoughts effectively.
Absolutely. That's the goal.
So, okay, let's pivot now. What does all this analysis mean for you listening right now? How can you use this on your own language journey? Let's give you some concrete tools, some actionable advice from all this.
Good idea.
First, maybe let's highlight some of that key vocabulary the teacher used or suggested. Words that can really boost your answers, not just on this topic, but across the board.
Definitely. These words add that layer of precision and sophistication. Let's quickly define them.
Okay.
First, health conscious. Basically, being aware of your health and actively trying to stay healthy. Someone who eats well, exercises.
Got it. Like she's very health conscious.
Exactly. Then monitor. This means to regularly check or watch something, like doctors monitor a patient's condition.
Or you monitor your blood pressure.
Perfect. Next, checkup. That's your standard medical exam, just to make sure everything's all right.
Like an annual checkup.
Then, top priority. Simply the most important thing right now.
My top priority is finishing this project.
You got it. And finally, lifestyle. This is the broader picture, the way someone lives, their habits, diet, daily routine, all of it.
Like a healthy lifestyle or sedentary lifestyle.
Precisely. Integrating words like these, it really elevates your expression. They're part of that linguistic toolkit we mentioned.
Those are great additions, and like you said, using them naturally takes practice. So moving from vocabulary to practical tips, what are the core improvement strategies we can pull from analyzing that learner's mistakes? Direct advice for our listeners.
Okay, let's break it down into 4 key areas, connecting back to the errors we saw. First, grammar.
The foundation.
Absolutely. The big takeaway here is really practice that subject-verb agreement. It seems basic, but it trips up so many learners, especially with collective nouns or plural subjects.
Like generation concentrate, not concentrates.
Exactly. Actively look for subjects and verbs when you read or write. Highlight them. Check they match. It's fundamental for accuracy and clarity. Get this wrong, and it can really derail your sentence.
Good advice. Okay, second area.
Vocabulary. The tip here is actively avoid repeating the same phrases over and over, especially common ones like health condition,
Find synonyms.
Yes, challenge yourself. Instead of health condition, maybe use health, well-being, medical issues, physical state. Ask yourself, how many ways can I say this common idea?
Build that mental thesaurus.
Precisely. Having options lets you choose the best word for the context, which signals a more advanced command of the language.
Makes sense. Third tip.
Let's talk structure. Use those contrast words we discussed. Don't just stick to compared to.
Mix it up.
Mix it up. Use whereas, on the other hand, in contrast, while. These aren't just fancy connectors. They build a logical bridge between your ideas. They make your arguments flow clearly and feel more sophisticated. Practice writing comparative sentences using different linkers each time.
Create that smooth flow. Okay, and the final tip.
Fluency. This one is about rhythm and naturalness. Try to reduce the overuse of simple linking words like so, especially using it multiple times in a row.
Like we heard in the original answer.
Exactly. It can make you sound hesitant. It's okay to pause briefly. Let your thoughts breathe.
A natural pause is better than so.
Often, yes. Or upgrade those connections. Use alternatives like as a result, therefore, consequently. These add polish and improve the natural rhythm of your speech. Recording yourself can be really helpful here. Listen back for those filler words or repetitive linkers.
Great practical tips. So wrapping up this deep dive, the main takeaway seems to be that moving from just getting your ideas across to expressing them really well with polish, with impact, it's not magic.
No magic, just work.
Right. It's about focused practice, paying attention to specific feedback like we dissected today, and actively building that toolkit. The grammar rules, the richer vocabulary, the flexible sentence structures.
It's about being intentional, not just speaking, but crafting your message.
Yeah. And seeing every mistake, maybe not as a failure, but as
an opportunity. An opportunity for a deep dive, just like this one. A chance to learn and refine.
I like that. It's about continuous improvement.
Absolutely. And thinking critically about how you say something, the word choices, the structure that's just as vital as what you're saying.
Yeah.
It makes your communication truly effective, not just functional.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. The next time you're preparing an answer, maybe for IELTS, maybe just for a conversation, take a second. Ask yourself, am I just getting the message out there? Or am I actively shaping my words, choosing carefully to make sure that message truly connects, truly resonates, making every sentence really work for me?